Now, maybe you're hearing the name LPT Realty floating around in your market. Maybe a buddy told you, hey, have you heard or looked into LPT? Or maybe you saw some agent on Instagram talk about stock and revenue share, and you're like, wait, what is this? Listen, I get it. The noise in the industry is super loud. Everyone's got the best split, the best tech, the best culture. But if you're really looking for the truth and you want to make a smart, educated decision about where you hang your license, you need facts, not fluff. All right. My name is Isaac Guzman. I've helped agents grow businesses in all 50 states. I've run teams, recruited across companies, coached producers at every level. And I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you that I've seen it all. And I'm here to tell you LPT is doing something completely different. And if you're an experienced agent or a team leader, this might be the biggest opportunity you haven't fully looked at. Let's talk about the benefits, because that's what we're really going to jump into in today's video. Okay. So before we do that though, here's what you need to know is that I moved from Keller Williams to EXP. And then after 4 years, maybe 4.5, moved from EXP to LPT Realty. I had no reason to leave, by the way. I was making revenue share. We had a great team, right? I had lots of friends. I was really well known there. And as I was launching a new team, I had to consider what platform made the most sense for me as an individual agent and for the agents on my team and the team as a whole. And so I sat down with a buddy of mine who was launching the team with me named Derek, and we took a look at all the different models and we said, holy smokes, what's this one all about? Why are so many people moving? Why are so many respected people moving? And we had to figure that out. And so today, what we're going to talk about, instead of telling you all the details of LPT, we're going to talk about what it really offers, okay, why people are interested in doing it, and really on the support side, what we've noticed, okay? So talking about what they really offer and whether or not it's the right fit for you, okay? Now, before I get into all that breakdown, let me also say this, okay? I'm not here to sell you necessarily. I'm here to serve you. I really want you to walk away from this video with absolute clarity, because if you're anything like me, you know that you really want to build a business that lasts, all right? And you want to grow and you want control and you want to keep more of your money. And you want to do it without having to give up all the things like tools and support or momentum that make it all work together. So first, starting with the model, because that's where the magic really begins, okay? LPT has what you might call like a hybrid model, or what I call and what they often refer to as agent choice, right? When it comes to compensation. All right. It combines a flat fee model for agents that really want to keep more of their commission. They don't really care about that revenue share stuff. They're really trying to maximize their earnings and retain as much as possible. And then there's a revenue share, or what's actually called the brokerage partner model, where you can get more stock and you can also start building revenue share for agents who are building teams and long-term wealth. All right. So here's how it really breaks down. You've got those two options. They're both agent friendly. Like I said, one, you're going to pay $500 per transaction in commission, and that hits $5,000 as a cap for the year. All right. And the other is 80-20 split capped at $15,000. Like I said, this is not what this video is about, but it's always worth doing it or getting into. Okay. Now, this is pretty good for top producing solo agents, this $500 flat fee, right? Or anybody who really wants to maximize earnings with like zero interest in revenue shares or too much stock. All right. The brokerage partner model, the 80-20 split capped at 15,000. This is something that's pretty crazy, because you can get stock awards on your first, third, 15th, and 35th transaction of the year. And it's one of the best things that you can do in a pre-IPO company that's the fastest growing brokerage in US history. Okay. Also, the fact that you can change plans as your business changes, that's super important and one of the best things I can consider for support. If your broker answers their phone all the time, that's great support. If your mentor or trainer gives you really great resources, that's great support. But how many of them are supporting you by allowing you to pick your own compensation plan based on where you're at in your business at that time? That's what I would call ideal support. Now, here's the thing. I remember actually working with an agent who went from 3 deals a year to 20 deals a year while raising her kids solo. And she started on that flat fee model to maximize cash flow. This was about 1.5 years ago. Okay. And she had already been at that like kind of lower, but on her way up when we first met. Okay. But by this second year, her rev share jumped. She started that. She's now building a team and she's earning some monthly residuals on that rev share. That's enough to at least pay her mortgage. So there's a real power behind selecting the right options for when it fits in your business. All right. What about fees? They don't really hide anything. Okay. There's a $500 annual fee for E&O. All right, but you don't actually pay it until you close your first transaction of the year. There's also a 195 transaction fee that's on every transaction, regardless if you're on the $500 plan or the 80/20 plan capped at 15,000. And here's the other thing: no desk fees, no franchise fees, no nickel and diming BS, no sign up fees. Super straightforward. You keep more, you grow faster. Okay, that's important. What about tools? This is where LPT really blows a lot of other brokerages out of the water, especially considering the flat fee model. Okay. This is something Robert Palmer, the founder, created before LPT was even a brokerage. And it's called Listing Power Tools. That's actually what LPT stands for, by the way. Okay. So every time you get a listing, you get a branded box shipped directly to you with over 160 marketing pieces. We're talking flyers, door hangers, postcards, thank you cards, business cards with your listing photo on them, even a yard sign writer with a custom text code that captures buyer info and sends it to your phone in real time. And all you do is pay shipping. That's it. Now think about this. This is true, right? We used to spend like $300 to $400 to get 100 postcards printed and delivered locally, and still had to design everything, right? Send it to the printer, coordinate all that. Like that not only is like hard costs, but also the soft costs of the time it takes to do all those things. All right. LPT sends you a full blown marketing kit that looks like it came from $1 million team and it's done for you. Now, here's the other thing: that you get a demo box of that you take to the seller's house when you're on the listing appointment. So you don't just have the marketing after the fact. You get a demo box to go and demonstrate and win the listing. Because here's the thing: if your brokerage right now, just stop the video after this, is your brokerage giving you tools to win listings, sell them faster, and then think about what you're using all that material for. Do you think it's just to market the house? Or do you think sellers in the neighborhood are also going, wow, this person's really dedicated to marketing the house that they list? So not only are you winning listings, not only are you selling them faster because of the marketing expertise and tools that you get, but you're also generating more listing opportunities from that listing. Isn't that what you want? I know I'm getting crazy, but I'm pretty passionate about this. It's kind of ridiculous that people aren't talking about this on an everyday basis because that's real leverage. That's what real brokerage value looks like. But it gets even better. In 2024, LPT launched Listing Power Tools 2.0 with buy-side marketing kits. That's right. Buy-side is changing. We all know that. Buyer rep agreements are becoming the norm and mandated, right? In a lot of cases, that's when LPT decided that it's not just going to focus on listings, it's also going to be giving agents tools to win those conversations. They're releasing branded buyer presentation books with a tear-off buyer agreement built in. You show up, deliver value, and walk away with a signed buyer ready to work with you. That's forward thinking. Okay. You also get access to a fully integrated CRM and website. That's through Lofty, right? Formerly known as Chime. Now, if you're not familiar with that, it's not just a CRM, it's a full suite. IDX website, lead generation, lead routing, smart plans, automation, text campaigns, it's all included. And yes, you can buy leads directly through it, right? Launch Facebook ads, retarget, and convert. It's not those broker built systems from like 2010, right? It's enterprise level tech. Okay. What about transaction management? Well, that's all handled through Dotloop. If you want, you can use SkySlope as well. That's what we opted to do. And training, let's talk about that. Because here's the thing: they just won the Ascend Training Award by Training Magazine. By the way, that puts them as one of the top 2 training brokerages in the world, hands down. Keller Williams used to tout this for years. We're the #1 training organization in the world. How they validated that was through the Apex Training Award through Training Magazine. LPT just won it. So what does that mean? Well, who's the best training company in real estate now? Pretty obvious. Check out the scoreboard. All right. Now, why did they get that? Well, live training session multiple times per week. You've got business planning, buyer scripts, listing strategies, marketing walkthroughs, all taught by agents who are in the field closing deals, not sitting in some ivory tower. Okay. There's also a full on demand training library with sessions ranging from new agents, foundations to really high level team building. And for new agents, yeah, they've got access to vetted, approved mentors in your state. Now, I'll be real with you. This is not hand holding. It's not a babysitting model. But if you're a self starter you'll be armed with everything that you need to launch and scale fast. Now, talking about support, right? I can't tell you how many times I've heard this, okay? I just want to talk to a human. At some brokerages, you need to submit a ticket, log into a portal, email 3 people, go into a video game, right? Like it's crazy, and hope that someone gets back to you in a few days. Okay, LPT really changed that. You can call, email, chat, or text, and you'll get someone who's trained, competent, and ready to solve your problem. I've had agents on my team get answers in under 10 minutes. Okay. That's how it should be. I know it's like groundbreaking to say that, but it really should be like that. On average, they answer within 10 minutes and solutions are given within an hour. That's on average, right? I think earlier this year, there was something like 27,000 tickets or whatever that they cleared in just 1 month. And that was the average wait time was 10 minutes for a response, less than an hour for a solution. Now, here's the cool thing about ticketing systems, the way that they work them is that they don't just expect the broker or whatever, the accounting team to manage their own tickets. They have a full support team that manages that. So imagine you ask a question of the accounting department. Okay. Now, the person who's responsible for giving you that answer is aware of it, but there's also a team of support people that are saying, let's say that person's name is Stephanie. Hey, Stephanie, did you answer Isaac's questions? Hey, Stephanie, did you answer Isaac's questions? Hey, Isaac, did Stephanie answer your question? Like, we got to clear this ticket because my job depends on it, right? You have a whole army of people who are also advocating for you to get the answer that you need. Okay. And so that's what's awesome. And you actually have a whole entire track record of every chat you've ever had, every ticket you've ever submitted, right? It's all there. So that way you're not having to dig through emails either. Maybe you got the answer. You're, 3 weeks removed from having that conversation. You need to go back to it. Where is that? And what's the key term? And who sent it to me? And what did they say? And oh, what was it? Oh no, this is the other email. Nope, none of that. Tickets all there on LPT Connect on the back end. All right. That's totally how it should be. Another question that I'm getting a lot. Let's talk about brand flexibility. At LPT, you get to build your brand. Shocker, right? Not just the companies. You might want to be the Miller Group. Okay, awesome. If your state allows it, you can. Okay. You might want to open a local office. Awesome. You can. You might want to stay virtual. Totally fine. In fact, LPT has a flexible affiliate program where boutique teams or brokerages can keep their brand, keep their name, and still plug into the LPT platform and revenue share structure. And this is perfect for expansion teams, boutique brands, and leaders who want the back end support of a national brokerage without having to give up all of their identity, right? They just get to kind of partner up with and pay power to buy. Now, that's a big deal for a lot of people. You spent a lot of time and energy and money on your logos, on your branding, on your colors, right? And some other companies, they go, well, too bad. Now you got to match ours. You can't use the different colors on our signs. LPT, they say, as long as it's compliant with your state, you got it. Make it camo colors, whatever you want. They've got you covered. Okay. Because it's about you and your brand. They like to say this, they're the period on the end of your brand. All right. Now, a lot of other questions I get, because this is an important one. A lot of people don't think about it until it really smacks them across the face, which is culture. Culture is a big word in real estate. Okay. Everyone says they have it, but here's what I've experienced. All right. At LPT, the culture is built on collaboration, not competition. The things that I've experienced when I was at certain brokerages, call it big franchises, right? It's basically a bunch of individual agents looking out for themselves. So you walk in and they're like, oh, yeah, I do this, that, and the other. And then you ask them for facts and they're like, no, 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 you're my competition. We are not going to talk. Other brokerages where like revenue share and sponsorships and downlines exist, here's what they do. You go, hey, I really like what you do over there. Could you help me out? Could you teach me? Can you guide me? And they go, whose downline are you in? You're not in my downline. I'm not going to help you, right? That's not what they do. That's not what we do at LPT, right? At real estate CEOs, there's people who come to our weekly mastermind who are at LPT. I have no idea who their sponsor is, nor do I care. Okay. Because that's what LPT is all about. It's a cooperative, collaborative environment. I know it firsthand. I've been in the other groups. When I was at EXP, I was in what I would argue is the best group. Okay. I don't think anybody can touch that group that I was in by far. But here's the problem. I would have friends, I would have people on the team that weren't part of the downline. And guess what? If they wanted to hear the information that we were doing on our mastermind, they'd have to like sit next to their buddy and watch over their shoulder, as opposed to like you can get access to it. Right? It's kind of their way of creating these little kingdoms where it's like, well, if you didn't name us as your sponsor, well, you're out in the cold. It's kind of messed up. Anyways, I don't think that's great for culture. Maybe you do. Drop a comment. All right. What about this? There are agent-led masterminds, there's groups, there's Nexus groups where you can collaborate with agents in your market. We have a bunch of Facebook groups full of strategy, support, and ideas. And Robert Palmer, our CEO, is in these groups daily, responding to agents. It's kind of wild. He's implementing changes and leading from the front, right? There's an issue with like paychecks at the end of last year. Dude, he spent an entire holiday weekend crafting code from scratch and then also working with Chase Bank to help with those states that were having delays on checks and stuff like that. He made it happen himself because of comments on the Facebook group. Guys, that's insane for a CEO of the fastest growing real estate brokerage in history in the United States to be that involved. Especially, it's not like he's got 300 agents. I'm willing to bet at the time of this recording, we're already at 20,000, right? This isn't just a CEO who shows up for quarterly town halls. All right, he's in the trenches with us. And that really matters because you've heard of this, right? Bet on the jockey, not on the horse. Dude, I don't know a better real estate CEO. If you know one better, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Not somebody who you think is smarter, not somebody who's quoted more in the news. I'm talking about somebody who does more for their agents. You can't name it, guaranteed. All right. Now, is LPT perfect? No, of course not. No brokerages. But if you're looking for a place that really gives you tools, training, support, and a model to actually thrive, if you're tired of just being a number, if you want to own your own brand, keep more of your money, and have the option to build passive income, not just be forced onto whatever, cookie cutter plan they say you belong on, well, this is probably exactly what you've been looking for. Okay, so let's talk honestly. If you're curious about what it looks like to make the move, if you're a solo agent, a team leader, someone who runs an independent brokerage, or someone who just wants to explore, let's have a real conversation. Click the link below to book a strategy session one-on-one with me, or you can even shoot me a DM. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, right? My name's pretty easy to spell, and just DM me and it says LPT, right? And I'll send you everything you need to know. Okay, compensation models, tools, onboarding steps, all of it. No pressure, no pitches, just real answers. Okay, let's build something big together at LPT Realty. See you on the other side.